Alright guys, this is another one today. Probably almost looks like the same day from the last video because I have a gray shirt on and it's covered in sweat.
This guy stays working.
The Jordans are on the roof today. So again, we're helping another wonderful gentleman out. Gonna do some repairs. It's the 16th today. So it's been a couple days. This one is on a claim with State Farm. So 0399F is in Frank, 074X. Like extra, I think the X means something, but I'm not sure. It's one of their policies I'm not sure about. But nice roof here. We've got the country club out there. I might start posting some golf content. I love golf. I'm so white sometimes. So wind damage shingle here. Just like at the Arcienega place, this is an architectural shingle, the Owens Corning. We've got one over there in the shade, so it doesn't get hot.
Yes.
Because that's a nightmare when they are. So what I'm going to do is, as everybody knows, we've got our way of taking this out. There's a couple things I've already noticed about this roof. One being that the damage is on a bunch of different slopes. There was some wear and tear damage for these shingles, which is very rare for an Owens Corning, because if there's anything that I would take from an Owens Corning shingle and put it on a GAF shingle, which is my preferred brand, and no, I'm not being sponsored, but if they'd like to. But no, GAF is our preferred brand. But if I could take one thing off of this shingle and put it on our shingles, it'd probably be the adhesive strip. They just make it out of something that's, I don't know, you guys have heard me talk about it before, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but yeah, these two, this one here is the one we're going to be working on. As I normally do, I put the stuff above it. So you've got a situation where, because of material transfer, and I'll let Clarence get up underneath the front of this so you can see it, when that strip does eventually have an issue, and it comes up, usually during high aggressive winds, especially if you look the way that this roof is formed, the way that wind works when it goes creates pressure underneath it, which will pull these up. And then, but the thing is that roof companies are smart. They know that. So these are designed with that tack strip to where you can actually watch ones in a windstorm where they'll blow back and forth, but then they'll come back. And once the heat heats up, it heats up that tack strip, and it adheres itself. The only time it can't do that is if there's so much debris that gets in there, it starts to material transfer onto that adhesive and it can't go back down because now there's a barrier or junk. And then you get, once they become rigid and non-conforming, then they get creasing, as you see right here. So that's why the insurance company has marked that as storm damage, because you can see it. So we're gonna get up underneath this shingle as we always do, right? With our same, got to come up with a name for this technique so that when we talk about it, people know what we're talking about. But you don't ever want to lift shingles at any degree, because this can happen to them. This is what happens to them naturally. So if we're up here doing that, that's considered vandalism by the way that the insurance company looks at it. So if you're up here messing with shingles and you don't know what you're doing, you can disqualify yourself from home coverage because you did it wrong. So probably best to let somebody who's a professional do that. So with this, as you can see, we're talking about tack stripping. When these shingles are overlapped the way that they are, now I've got my bar in there, this one's already bent up. It's gonna tack adhere to these shingles that are next to it, right? So that means I have to then unadhere this from this to be able to get this one out, right? So I do that very gently, but it is a process that when you're repairing these shingles can cause an issue. Now, the fasteners that are in this, we're going to talk about it here in a second when I get this out, are staples. I do not like those. We do not use those. There's a reason for that. We're going to talk about that. But you're going to find that a lot in these areas where you got older homes, because it's the way they used to do it. So I'm going to break the adhesion of the shingle above it. Again, using proper technique. That one is in there. Careful not to damage things. Not why we're here. Now, once you get it broke away, because if you start doing that again, you're going to start damaging these. These are not damaged by me. You just slide it. cutting into a nice little wheel of cheese or something.
So you
like
just
that,
slide that real gently, right?
Correct. And then that'll break the adhesion as you go, but it doesn't cause any kind of transfer of materials, right?
Okay.
So as you can see, we got caught up on something there. That's what's fastening these roofs. So that causes its own issue. Again, we're going to talk about that, but first I want to get this broke out so they can kind of see how we've done this.
Okay.
I'm not going to go all the way down the shingle. There's no reason to. I'm only going to break away what I need. You want to toss me those gloves that are in your pocket? Thank you, sir. It's on camera. Clarence, a pair of gloves because I'm not damaged. I would never recommend putting your hands on a shingle roof without gloves. And the reason is there's shiny stuff on here, and I think he's already zoomed in. That's fiberglass. And if you've ever worked in an attic, then you know when fiberglass gets in your skin, it feels like little needles.
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on with me, but I realized I had a hole in my glove, so I was like, "What's wrong with my thumb?"
That's what it is. It's little. They're little needles.
Yep.
It's glass. It's broken into fibers. Okay, so this is our removed shingle. It's not wanting to come out. I feel another layer in there.
There we go.
It's that staple. Yep.
Yep, staple.
So this is the issue that I have with staples. So now you have pulled through fasteners. One there, one there, one there, one there. So that's going to mean one of two things. That means I either have to go way up in there, which is what I'm going to do, and get those so that the new shingles don't have any reason to have a gap, because if they have a gap, guess what wind and water is going to do? It's going to find a way in, as it always does. So this is the reason that I have issue with these. So that's the old shingle itself. That's the one that they called wind damage, correct, 1000%. But if you look up under this, here's where you're going to have your issues. There's one there.
Yep.
Right. But when they staple these, they staple them all the way through, right? Which is what you're supposed to do. So now you've got this shingle here that's unsecured in one spot because it's been pulled through, right? But you have fasteners. I got one. Yep, right there. But you have these fasteners now that are going to cause issue. Yep. Can you get the camera in there to see right where my hand is? Can you see those tacks?
Yes, I see it right there.
Yeah, that's this shingles.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
So when we put the new shingle in there, that's going to cause an issue because it's going to be pulled through. But I'm not just going to tell you, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to cut this for a second. We're going to come back. We're going to have the shingle here. We're going to put it in place, and we're going to get to going. Okay, let me get this in here.
All right.
Oh, should probably only use one. See, unlike a lot of roofers, I bring two. So that way the strip doesn't get hot and cause me an issue when I'm trying to put it in. It's all nice and touchable, right?
Yes,
Eventually,
sir.
though, that'll heat up. There's your Owens Corning. So COM 26. It's going to line up with the same kind of shingle that they're saying this roof is. That's the old shingle sitting right there. I don't know. Can we flip it over? Does it have the mark on the back? Oh, it does. Oh. So that's what it used to look like. No Pizarro 8. So these are, I believe, these are two different metric measurements when it comes to what they call the exposure. So see, we're already having problems with some of these freaking staples. Yep. So if you look, focus the camera a little bit back and then kind of try to get this. Can you see that moving?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hitting staples that are coming through these.
That's
They call
exactly
pull-through
where it's pulling
fasteners.
up.
They pulled from the old one, and it's going to be inside that one, right? So, I either have to manipulate these, or I have to go under the other shingle and pull them all out.
So wouldn't that cause a problem in bending?
It can, depending on how you do it. And depending on the rigidity and the pliability, as they like to use the words, of the shingle that's currently on the roof. And that is sometimes a problem, depending on multiple factors. You're getting all this, right?
Yes, sir.
Many roofers watch this, which eventually they will, and hopefully these older videos will stay up and I didn't say anything dumb. If I get popular on YouTube, they like to go back and see how dumb you used to be. So if I'm dumb, then I'm dumb. But hopefully any roofers see these, stop using staples. Anyway. Okay. Yep, just like RC and Aga. All right, let's go ahead and show it.
All right.
So, as we talked about when I come to this roof, right, I already know. If you don't know, then you're probably not doing the job correctly. The exposure. I know that ITEL, who is the company that reports on shingles, they like to say that one shingle is just like the other if the name's the same. Well, we're the ones that change the measurements. So when you change a measurement on a shingle, like they like to do, for whatever reason, what you do is you start to create issues with the old style. So, and I got a tape measure over here because I'm a good roofer. You have to tell yourself you're a good roofer, you might not be. But, so, let me show you what I mean by exposure, in case you're not a roofer and you just stumbled across this. So if you look, see how that's 5? They call it 3/4. I call it a half, but just depends on who is doing it. Okay, see that? You go from the exposure line of this one, right? You're looking at, well, that's over 6, right?
Sure is.
So if you go from the down line of the architectural, so there's 2 schools of thought on this. I don't know why. The manufacturer to me puts a line on the shingle. The line on the shingle is the line on the shingle, and that's the line that I'm going to use. But some guys, even some people who, you know, work for us probably, they like to bring the architectural shapes together. Now, does that cause better locking in, worse locking in? I don't know. I don't install. But to me, if you're above this architectural line, then you don't have any issues with things that are pooling and things that are going of that nature. But even if I go from the architectural line, right, you're still at a 6-inch exposure. I'm trying to flip that over so you can see. So I know that that doesn't seem like a lot of difference. And again, boom, there's the 6, and then boom, if I go up to the line, it's 6 and almost 6 and 8 probably. It's written on the reports, but ITEL, God love them. They do recognize shingles and they will tell you what it is, but their job, I feel, is selling. So, but here's going to be your issue as well. I've got, this is a 10 shingle roof repair. So 10 of the shingles on this roof were determined by the adjuster, who's very good at what he does, to be storm damage. And so that was one of them that we just pulled off this roof that's flipped over there.
The old one.
Correct. And so the ones around it were not marked as such, right? This one did have some showing of storm damage, right? A little bit here, a little bit here, but it didn't have it down here, right? So we've got some bending, some cracking, I haven't even started to drill into this shingle yet, right? Eventually I'm gonna have to put nails, which I'm gonna go ahead and do because I'm out here and I don't want to leave this shingle, you know, loose. But those are gonna be our two issues. I don't like to have issues. But yeah, fixing some of these older roofs, there's a risk at it. We do it right. That's why we have the right tools. We have an ROC number. So there's people right back here on the golf course that we've been talking to. So if we were doing things wrong, you know, we're exposed. But I don't know. It's interesting. We're coming up on shingles that are older. These architectural styles, usually when you see them, they're pretty pliable, but some of these are getting older. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna put a couple nails in this.
Okay.
Get this done so we can get off this hot roof. That's not what I wanted to see. So we did do a shingle that's on the front of the house, which is why I didn't want to see that. That was just the easiest area to access when we got up here. So our adhesion is already starting.
Yeah, I can see that.
Someone's corning, babe. You know?
Go.
All right. Unfortunately, technology doesn't like heat, so we didn't cut that. That was red alert, red alert, red alert. So the shingle's in. I didn't do much. I watched the end of the last one before we started this, and just to make sure I knew where I was. My hands were in there. I got it set. I put it in, and then Clarence told me that the video had cut out. So I stopped. But again, I've got this in. If you get another good look at it, the line is covered. So look at the shingle that's up. So in case anybody forgot, there is a line on them that shows you where the drive line is. That's called the drive line. That's where the shingle's supposed to line up. I have that hidden. And as you can see, the exposure to the next shingle is still extra, right? So these are not the same shingle, right? So hold on, how are you doing that?
Oh yeah, you can tell.
So I know what ITEL says. I know what the shingle company says. The shingle company does not agree with ITEL. These are not the same shingle. They have changed their dimensions, right? But as I stated before, I didn't do any driving of shingles. I didn't do any nailing while the video was cutting, because I have been questioned before. Not very often. Not usually by State Farm either.
Well, it's 1:11 today.
Yeah.
So your phone's not going to take too much.
So we're going to drive line this, drive line that, stick that in, right? I mean, it's that simple. I don't understand. I see a lot of videos on social media because of what I do, obviously. And I see a lot of questioning about how to install shingles when you're doing a repair. It's not hard. It's the way you install a shingle when you're putting them on a roof. The only difference is this has shingles already present on a roof. I would be working my way up, and there wouldn't be shingles present on the driveway. So we don't have to get into that. I talk about that enough, I think. I'm going to probably continue to talk about it till I'm done doing this for a living. But my former business was automotive and automotive finance. So in that business, obviously, you run into people who don't tell the truth. That's right. Over here, we believe, tell everybody the truth and do things right. And, you know, things will go right for you. So, all right. I'm going to drive more nails, but I can already show you what we were talking about before. So, come on over. There's lines that were not present before. There's lines on there that were not present before. Right? So we're causing issues, but what we're also causing is we're causing these staples that were in here. There's really no way to reseat these without pulling these back up and driving nails into those, right? So once I do that, guess what's going to happen? Like this one has already been ripped because of how good the adhesion is. Look at this. That shingle came up and it ripped through that other shingle because it's still sticking. Gosh, Owens Corning needs to become a glue company, not a shingle company. I don't know what's in that stuff. I really don't, but no other shingle does that. But yeah, I'm probably done causing damage to this roof. I can't move these shingles without something I mean, look, just look where I was stepping. I mean, it's just constant. Granules.
Yep.
Direct sunlight just does it, man. I mean, we talked about it multiple times. I'm in Arizona. It's a problem. So, probably going to leave this one the way that it is. I'm going to send this in. I got a cool adjuster that I'm working with over at State Farm. Talked to him yesterday. This is the day after I spoke to you, buddy. So, yeah, this was what I was worried about. So, we'll send it in. Thanks, guys, for watching. We're going to figure out a way to actually get this